already threatened a preview video about Martin Ødegaard, how the season's going to be very different for him, in my opinion, and about how some other players and how I think their imminent impact is it's underrated. But now everyone's talking about something else which I think is connected. Now, obviously, have to start with the disclaimer that Tony Adams is the greatest captain Arsenal have ever had. I've watched him from youth team to captaincy, my hero. And he carried us, the 89 league title, the 91 league title, despite him going to jail halfway through it. I thought he was probably as important, almost as Baldy, and that amazing final against Parma. That unit was amazing. That what got us over the line to win two domestic cups the season before. I thought 96 had broken him when he was one of England's greatest captains, and thought we'd carried us over the line in a home tournament, but we just couldn't quite get there. It hadn't broken him. He carried on, he fought on, and led us to another league title in 98, league double, in 98, scoring that famous goal, the statue, and was an important part of another double season in 2002. What a captain. Lots of amazing, inspirational leaders in English football who can fight and get you going have not turned out to be the greatest managers. It's the other side of Glenn Hoddle almost being he was a good coach, but too technically good, to be able to transmit that to players. Can Adams, without being on the pitch alongside them, transmit that superhuman level of fight? Didn't really manage to do so. He's obviously had a wee chat, which I've not even seen. Some anachronistic, run through brick walls bullshit about our captain, about our brilliant captain, Martin Ødegaard. I've not seen it. I have listened to people I respect talking about it, particularly Clive Palmer. Had some interesting points, sort of connect to some of my thoughts. Actually, I'd been thinking about Philadelphia Eagles leadership team, where you've got an almost quite understated quarterback who leads the team through example. When he does speak, everyone listens. Who's inspirational, manages to take people aside, one-on-ones, drive them on. I was going to say doesn't swear, but he does swear every now and then. It's the same. Doesn't speak all the time, doesn't swear all the time, but when he speaks, you listen. When he swears, you shit yourself. Jalen Hurts, an amazing, massively underrated, true leader in the NFL. Clive Palmer was talking a bit about another hero of mine, Maro, Itoje, and he doesn't swear, and he's able to speak directly, calmly to the referee, but he also has that calmness, but the steel. He leads the press with that relentless running. He moves people around, a bit like Itoje. It's a bit different because obviously Jalen Hurts is primarily an offensive player. That's the way American football works. But Palmer was talking about how Genge is the sweary, fighty element of the leadership team for the Lions. And I guess Landon Dickerson is probably the equivalent player at the Eagles. The hype man gets them going. I think that Arteta sees himself as the hype man. He sees himself as the one who should be able to inspire and drive them on. I said in another video, he had Carlos Cuesta. His second in command was more the arm around your shoulder guy, and he was the fighting one. I've also said in other videos, Ferguson is our manager who managed to redefine himself when he needed to via different second in command. Our second in command this season, or one of our key coaches, is going to be Gabriel Heinze, who is a Genge. He is a Dickerson. He is an Adams. he's going to have players up against the wall telling them how much it fucking matters. Which not all players need or want or benefit from, and which gets tired quickly. You can't. I think some managers, Mourinho famously, it doesn't always last that long. You can get people hyped, you can get people scared of you. You can be I'll be your friend in prison, but I might do something terrible to you. It can't last forever. It can't go all the way, and the Mourinho hasn't sustained multi-dynastic teams in the way that Ferguson has. Arteta hasn't even won a league title yet, comparing him to some of the all-time greats. But this is what we're hoping for. This is the levels we expect. It's funny that all these people, this is the final chance for Arteta. I don't think it's the final chance for me, but conversely, I also expect him to be a generational level manager, to win multiple key trophies, top trophies with us, and to be multi-dynastic. That's what I'm hoping for. This season, our captain, for the first time, is going to have a team built around him rather than a team which he has to sacrifice himself to. Everyone's talked about us needing a 9, absolutely vital, someone who can make runs, diagonal runs, short runs in between centre backs, but also when they're high, runs in behind over and over again. He can stretch them. He can isolate centre backs and full backs. He can pull people away to leave the wingers one-on-one, and he can keep making holes in those lines for a 10 to be able to find passes, whether it's inside out runs from Martinelli or Madueke maybe, whether it's getting near to Saka and doing the combinations and the 1-2, whether it's finding straight passes for diagonal runs for Gyökeres, or later runs from the deep line midfielders, or like those zone 19. I mean, he can be there for the zone 19 pullbacks. Gyökeres is absolutely going to be key in keeping on our horseshoe of doom reversion. When we dominate games and it's the sterile dominance, I think that too much coming to the ball rather than running in behind is a key ingredient in that recipe being a failure. But also, more important than that, we talked about Madueke, left-footed left winger. I really want to see Ranieri tried there a bit, but that's a separate story. They said, all 5 forward spaces. A left-footed left winger. Martinelli in competition with someone, I still believe there's an absolute beast in there from Martinelli, and there is in big games against big opposition. He's our best defensive winger, and like that goal against Real Madrid, it's a glorious goal. He scored, glorious counter-attacking goals famously against Chelsea. He's got a few against Chelsea, evil Chelsea. If we can get that width consistently, we can get a 9 running in behind, and most importantly of all, Zubimendi, early first time passer, either foot. This means that so I think that as we've struggled often, Ødegaard gets deeper and deeper, and the sort of criticism from our fans about that, I think he's sometimes left with no choice. I remember some games, I can't even remember what it was, my mum came away, he hardly did anything on the ball, and my mum said, and we won a game 2-0, some shit game at home against someone, and my mum said if Ødegaard was Kante, he would have been man of the match in that game for the running he did, for the absolute destruction he caused of the other team's plans, for being available and moving it on simply. But because he's, wait a second, I'm stopped by the pool! But because he's, a 10, people expect more, which is fair. Partey and Jorginho had their flaws. I think Zubimendi is one of the best there is in that position. I think he's going to be underrated till people see it. But then, as I said, there are some players that I think are going to be absolutely key to us this season that people are not talking about, that people think that we've moved beyond or are weird signings, and it is about winning the duels. It's about this thing that I couldn't hear it, but it's the Adams, Keane, Heinz thing about you go to war and you win your battles one-on-one. It's getting the guy up against the wall and saying, you're going to fight. This is Tottenham, we have to smash them. This is United, we have to go to war, whatever it is. The thing that you need the hype man for, that extra 5% in the 50-50, so that you're there first at every loose ball, so that you're winning that 50-50, so that you're going to war for the fans. The dual monsters that we've got in this team, I think that Mikel Merino, possibly consistently off the bench, can be a huge difference to a team that lost 21 points from winning positions last season. Getting in there at left 8 and winning duels. I think he can be a sub for Ødegaard, so that Ødegaard doesn't have to play every minute and run himself into the ground. I mean, he was playing underweight last season. I've gone on about that too much. But I think post the ankle injury, he had to play at a lower weight. And obviously, we all know, he had a kid. And anyone who's had a kid knows that 3 month in, you want to kill each other. The lack of sleep. There's a reason, the CIA break people with sleep deprivation. And people can talk all they want about, they're rich. That it's your kid. You want to be there for your kid. That child is now a more stabilised, level, manageable age. Subs. Norgard as a sub for Martin Ødegaard can be an attacking sub when you get Rice into that right space where he loves that sweep shot. Same thing with bringing on Merino. Mikel Merino, too much had to be forced into that position as a striker. Late box crasher, winning fights on the edge of the area. And it sounds silly that I'm saying this is great for Ødegaard, he could be subbed. But I think it is. I think it's massive. I think having Zubimendi get him the ball early so he gets to have the ball in space. Gyökeres making runs. And not just making runs. If you've watched the video, he makes a run. If it doesn't work, he makes another run. He checks in. He goes. It's almost like Ian Wright in his relentless, not just running, but running with purpose. Movement, dragging defenders, killing them. And then another sub that I think can be massive for us. I've got him actually in my fantasy league team. Everyone laughed at me. Let's see. We've all seen the memes of the super hench new version of our German striker. But I think back from his donkey farm, we can have a secret weapon causing havoc, maybe partnering Gyökeres as well. Anyway, the level I think that a Martin Ødegaard with some rest, with some rotation, but more importantly with some space, with Saka moving, with the ability of the left wing to stay a bit wider, but to cause damage from there, whether it's Madueke or Martinelli, with Gyökeres running, and those early passes from Zubimendi. I think we can see Martin Ødegaard operating at close to his peak. And I think that close to his peak is a Ballon d'Or level player. That's what I'm talking about. I think I can see 20 GA Prem season, 10 goals, 10 assists, maybe more, maybe 25 from Ødegaard, with more in the Champions League where players really come at us. I think we can see a return to that, half a dozen, zone 14, the ozone, pinged in from that edge. I believe we can get back there. And I believe that he is the best leader of a press in the Premier League, the best around. And with Gyökeres to do that off the ball running, with either Rice or Merino in the left eight, with the work rate you can get out of Martinelli. I don't know enough about Madueke to know whether he can deliver on that level. He's definitely got the pace to be a real thorn in the defensive team side chasing. I'm sure Arteta will expect that of him. Anyway, get your money on the Martin Ødegaard for Player of the Year. We've got a big game, and it's Manchester United. And as one of my heroes has said, we don't choose the time, don't choose the place, we do not choose the schedule, We don't choose the opponents. But what I choose is violence. When we do not win the duels, I am not happy. From kickoff to the final whistle. Find your opponent. Isolate them one-on-one. Win your duel. Tear a motherfucker up. And make them remember your name. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Fuck United. Come on, the Arsenal.